And we're live, and we're going to New York, Jeff, tomorrow morning. At what time do I need to be at your house?
You have to be in my house 5:30 a.m.
Oh, I'm so excited.
That's only 8:30 in the morning New York time. You guys are already resetting your clocks for that.
Boom.
It's true.
It's true. I'm like mentally ready to wake up and go to the East Coast and just like go to this convention. I've never been to New York City, haven't other than like just flying in between flights.
I'll have to figure out what booth number we're going to be chilling at too.
Oh yeah, that's important. We're going to be posting that on Instagram. We're going to make sure that all of our East Coast peeps know exactly where we are when we are out in public doing stuff.
Yeah, I know the booth Silver Age Comics. He's the vendor.
Okay.
A friend of mine, Gus. So he's out in New York, local. So.
All right. Well, shout out Gus. We're going to be there soon.
Gus.
But right now we're talking about CBSI, comicbookinvest.com, because Russ and I, we've been covering the top 10 list every Friday for how long has it been now?
About 2 months.
2 months now,
Yeah.
going strong.
It's good.
I like it. We're going to have to get creative this week to have the Friday video go out. I'm excited. We're going to be prepared. But right now, we're actually moving on to the honorable mentions list.
For those of you that don't know, CBSI puts 2 honorable mentions every single week, and since there were 4 weeks in the month, there are 8 of them this time. Without further ado, which one's number 8, Tom?
Ooh, we're going to start off this list. Let me flip the page with Elric the White Wolf number 1, the Jean Bastide variant. Now this is cover B. This was hot all month. This made the honorable mentions list 4 weeks ago, and then that next week made the top 10 list. So it spiked enough within the first week to get on the 10 list, and now is going for between $30 and $45. This book has gone up even more.
So there was a good buzz about this book. The art is stunning, and it was cool to be able to see it, that it was on honorable mention. You knew it was hot, and then all of a sudden the next week, oh yeah, it's actually on the hot 10 list. So it's good to watch these trends. Sometimes with these new books, things that are accessible, only $30, $40, $45, pick them up because they are moving.
Great cover. Awesome snow cover. Got a wolf in there, and it's just the color works great. And this is one that a lot of people are keeping an eye out for, and there's not many of them listed on eBay. Keep an eye out for this variant. It's hot, and it's only going up.
Yeah, beautiful cover. Beautiful cover.
We got some gold at number 7. You want to kick us off with number 7, Jeff?
Absolutely. Number 7, International Comics 4. Classic Golden Age book. It's had some strong sales of late. A 9.0 just sold for $2,300. Clown feeding a person to a tiger. I mean,
we don't need the code.
Rar.
Not at all.
How do you not love that?
It's for kids, right?
Absolutely. It's kid-friendly.
It was
And
only
it's-
10 cents. They could afford it, right?
Yeah, published by EC, that kid-friendly company.
Heck
you know?
yeah.
Educational comics, entertainment comics, horror comics, whatever.
A 9.0 though. Damn, how does that
that's
even
nice.
exist?
Somebody took care of their comics, you know, and
Because if it was a 9.6, it'd be a file copy, but a 9.0 is just someone took care of it, right? I mean, that's kind of the general idea of the EC comics.
Yeah, it's an earlier EC. I don't know, Gaines, the owner of EC, kept a lot of personal copies, 8 to 10 of most of his books. So you get a lot of 9.8s and 9.6
Right.
of Tales from the Crypts, A Vault of Horrors, all the classic horror titles. International Comics, I'm not sure if he had file copies or not, but 9.0, that's beautiful.
$2,300.
And,
Man, that's
and again,
awesome.
clown feeding a person to a tiger.
It's so great.
Yeah.
It's so great.
That's what I like. And the old gold, man. This is so cool.
Oh,
Right.
I'll start showing some.
All right, number 6, Russ.
Oh my God. Number 6, we have Wolverine Volume 3, number 1. This is the J. Scott Campbell Deadpool cover.
This is your favorite, right?
I hate this cover. I do. I think it's overpriced. I think it's way too much money. But the comic community does not agree with me. I've always looked at this cover and gone, too much. No. People love it.
9.8.
9.8, $4,500. Raw, they're on eBay for over $3,000. There's one signed by Stan Lee on eBay for over $3,000. It just blows my mind. Yes, it's a cool cover. I've always felt it was overvalued, and I am wrong. I get it.
Well, this is an interesting one though, because I mean, we kind of get some crap for cover and variants from time to time. But
Yeah.
this book last year went for $4,500.
Yeah.
And then earlier this year, $4,300. And then we had another sale of $4,500.
Yeah.
It's consistent. This book's staying above that $4,000 mark. It's hot. And everyone loves J. Scott Campbell.
The market is bearing it, and that's kind of it. I mean, if people were buying it and flipping it and the next person bought it and couldn't sell it for that price, that would be a bad market. Right now, it's not a speculator's market. This is a collector's market. People are absolutely buying these because they want them in their collection. And that's the difference between buying a book that spikes and goes back down.
All right. We got at number 5, another Golden Age classic, Wally Wood.
Yeah, Wally Wood.
Different Wally Wood.
Different wood.
There's a few woods.
There's a few woods out there. So make sure you know which wood you're
Oak, teak,
discussing.
mahogany.
So Sweethearts 119. Okay, this is a Marilyn Monroe classic cover. All right.
It's gorgeous.
It's a beautiful book. And Marilyn Monroe did grace us with many covers in comics. So a 4.0 sold for $1,900. Now, Guide is $194. So what
Can
are
you
we
explain
talking?
that,
10
Jeff?
times Guide?
Explain that, because you deal in gold. How does stuff like this happen? Why is Overstreet it says 194, and how come it goes for 1,900? And you're an Overstreet advisor, so I feel like you're the one to ask.
Okay, you can ask me. You could probably ask every other Overstreet advisor, and they will not have an answer why.
Love it.
Romance books, crime books, I guess Westerns, funny animals, why certain ones, and quite a few actually, are not properly priced in the guide. And for, I don't know how many years now. I've been an advisor for 6 years, I think. And many years before that, superhero stuff, they'll keep track. But for some reason, I don't know why they can't get it. And it's not like it's a little bit above guide, these things. And like, whatever. It's okay. You just missed the mark a little bit. We're talking 5 to 10 times guide.
Right.
Like, you're not even close. And same with the small publishers of Golden Age back in the late 30s, early 40s. You're talking like Fox Publications. Anything Fox, like, is way underpriced. Mystery Man Comics, Centaurs, another great publisher. Anything
Mystery Man Comics, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anything that's not superhero, like your normal Marvel and DCs, is just not being tracked properly. It just isn't. It's it's great for buying. Don't get me wrong. I love it when I go out there and I can be like, hey, baseline on a guide is like $150.
But but at the same time, you're like, shoot, okay, we can't use these numbers for the purpose of like actually selling something hard copy in person. But you know what? Marilyn Monroe has some awesome covers.
Marilyn Monroe does. So that's a great cover. Now there's another one before, an early Marilyn Monroe, before surgery, before she was famous. Norma Jean Mortensen, a.k.a. Marilyn Monroe, okay, also showed up in Teenage Diary Secrets #6. Okay, this book I just saw for sale as a 6.0 for $4,500.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, Guide, I am sure, is probably the same as this, around $150, $200. I mean, it's a tough book too, but come on.
Right.
Like, but that shows that people are still collecting these old, timeless characters, such as Marilyn Monroe and, you know, any other famous, maybe not Bob Hope or whatnot, but these female characters, not yet, right?
I'm still holding out for Bob Hope, man. Yeah, those are coming back.
None of those Bob Hope books are worth anything, but Annette Funicello, I Love Lucy, Lucille Ball, any of that stuff, you are definitely seeing those driving. There's a bunch of 4 colors that have them on the cover, and everything around it is worth nothing. And all of a sudden, you have someone who wants that redhead I Love Lucy cover, and they're going to pay 3-4 times guide, which is crazy for a Del 4 color.
Those photo covers, you know, they have the famous people on there. And
If you want them, you're going to pay to get it because you may never see it again.
Yeah,
and that's what I love about gold. But you know what? There's another comic run that this is like the same situation, because if you want it, you're not going to be able to find it because no one was getting it. Jonah Hex. we're gonna go from gold to Jonah Hex number 56 at number 4. This is a 1 in 10 variant. This is a photo cover, and it's going for above $80 right now. And there are only 2 listed on eBay above 100. It's just one of those situations where if the print run is low and there is a 1 in 10, 1 in 25, the book, if it even spikes a little, it spikes hard.
So this book probably is the same case as your shirt.
Yes.
Because it's the end of the DC, we're going just about into New 52 run. There was only about, I don't know, 5 or 6 more issues after this of this Jonah Hex run, and DC knew that they were, I mean, they had already drew the line at $5.99, $2.99, whatever. Drawing the line at $2.99 is what they had done, and they rolled the price down, and they were just kind of this natural denouement before they were going to reboot the whole universe.
Right.
So if they had a 1 in 10 variant of a book that wasn't selling very well at a point in time that DC was kind of lacking in sales before they had to kick everything back up again, this is just perfect storm here. And again, gorgeous cover. It's like they took a photo and kind of did some pastel painting on it of Jonah.
The color work is
horse.
awesome.
Yeah.
The background's great. A lot of attention to detail.
Yeah.
For a Jonah Hex book, it's nice to see some respect given to this cover. So
Respect!
let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, and we're back down to number 3, okay? And you're going to want to hit that like and subscribe button because we do this video every month where you're talking about the CBSI Hot Comics list, the honorable mentions. And we have number 3, Down with Crime number 7, The Dictator. This is a great cover. This is one of my favorite Golden Age covers, but it's not for the reason you may think. Because on this cover, it looks like you have a Golden Age hero, Sandman. But this is not the Sandman, correct?
No, it's not the Sandman. It's a character who resembles the Sandman and is almost coming into a bedroom with the gal on her bed, like you're also assuming the Sandman because it's a sleeping fashion, his mask that he's wearing, but it's a dude in a suit with a mask coming into the bedroom.
No, it's just like horrible. It's like he's like it's either someone's there to give you sweet dreams,
Right.
someone's there to save you from a nightmare, or they're there to just like do something messed up, and they're wearing this like.
It's quite a visual. You would think from the I think late 40s, early 50s time frame. So, I mean, this book, Down with Crime 7, great cover, classic cover. It's had really strong sales. It says that a sale just went for $1,000. Fully believe it. I just picked up a copy about 3 weeks ago, and I got a good deal on it. But I've seen some very strong private sales of this book a few times in the last 2 months, and they're all around this number in this type of grade.
Looks like a 4.0 going for $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
You said you just got one. When do you have it, or when
I have
are
it
you
coming. It'll be in sometime after a New York trip.
Ooh, okay, so you're gonna have to bring it here. I want to see this book.
I'll bring
person.
it.
Okay, number 2, we have Supergirl number 1, the 1994 volume, and this is an interesting one. I don't want to dive too deep into it because this is honestly fit for a whole other podcast. We are going to be coming back together to talk about the DC Universal logo variants. But this is a variant of a very common book. And because it has that different logo, we're seeing this spike in the market, recent sales at $75. But this book, definitely closer to a value of right around $100. We're going to see this book continue to rise as comic book collectors see this variant spiking in the market, not just with this one particular title, but a number of titles that share this variant. We have low census counts on all these, similar to the CGC census as well as eBay census. So I'm excited to see where we wind up with these variants and what else comes out as collectors start to dive deeper into the history to find what is reprints that are now lower numbered than standard print comics.
Check your collections for these DC Universe logo variants. You may find some of these. Tom and I are definitely going to tell you more about it in the upcoming weeks.
All right, we're at number 1. Russ, do you want to hit us with number 1?
Venus number 1. The most beautiful girl in the world.
This is it.
Even if you don't know comics, you know this cover. I mean, this is just one of those you look at and go, yep, that's a gorgeous cover. It's just a really iconic cover. And a CGC 3.5 sold for $1,300, and a 6.0 last year sold for the same amount. And it's just one of those that people are going to buy because it's a beautiful, beautiful book. Jeff was telling us about some cool covers. What are your favorite covers from the Venus run?
So for the Venus run, I believe it went up to 19 issues, but the last 3 were horror covers.
Oh, okay.
And before that was sci-fi.
Yeah.
So it transitioned from this kind of fanciful, beautiful girl and on covers and whatnot to sci-fi. And then some sci-fi, which actually kind of looked like it almost got aggressive sci-fi, to more of a instant shock horror. Ooh. So 17, 18, 19, amazing covers. 17 and 19 are my favorite. I believe 17, 19. 19 is classic. Like the most sought out issue in the entire run, from 1 to 19. It's basically this creature character whose face is being peeled off, okay, as he's going in for a kiss with this girl. So it's a skeleton mouth trying to kiss this gal, and it's right there. It's framed tight. I mean, it's in your face, and it's so good. So good.
Oh, man.
And that book is like, you're talking 4.0s are probably around 4K. I mean, it's nuts. So it's super expensive, and it's a great book. And 17 and 18 are also fantastic. So
that's all. It's interesting going from just something so like traditional and nice and just like, oh, it's a nice comic, to like just Saw. You know, like
Right.
like just horror movie.
EC
on
was
a
doing
page.
the same things. You saw, especially exact same time frame. You have a lot of these going 1 through 15 Crime Patrol, and then after that, you're looking at Tales from the Crypt and Crypt of Terror and Haunt of Fear, and all of them had about a year and a half before they just like, all right, full horror.
Love
you
it.
know? Yeah.
It's great, just in time for Horror Month. We are in October, and that wraps up our honorable mentions for September. I do want to know, did we miss anything? Did CBSI miss anything? Did you notice anything in the community that has been spiking that deserves a little bit more recognition? Please put your answers in the comment section below. We'd love to hear it.
Thanks again to comicbookinvest.com, CBSI, for giving us this amazing honorable mention list. We love doing this every single month, and thank you again for letting us be able to do it officially for you guys.
We do appreciate your time, and as always,
Geek
responsibly.
enough Said. Thank you so much for watching the video. Shout out to all of our new subscribers. We're going up like crazy every day. We appreciate every single one of you. If you want to sign up for the mystery mail call, make sure to hit the link in the description. We're filling up quick. We got about 50 slots left for October. The deadline is the 15th. We'd love to have you join. Give me an excuse to send you some comic books.